is Lewis reporting from Warsaw, Poland. Hope you're all doing well. I'll be walking you through Warsaw, this very modern and fascinating city. And hopefully along the way I'll give you some nice footage and give you some history background about this interesting place. So yeah, follow me through. I hope you enjoy this video, guys, and I'll catch you later.
Muna.
Yep.
And yeah, Muna, tell about yourself. Where are you from?
Basically, I'm from Kyrgyzstan, which is in Central Asia, and we're in Warsaw right now. And I'm an Uber driver, driving this awesome vlogger.
How old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
Cool, same age as me then.
Yeah, man.
96. That's the best year.
For sure.
And what are your ambitions? What are you doing in life?
Currently, I'm saving some money for my little e-commerce business.
Nice.
Hopefully, it will work out. Fingers crossed.
Of course, man.
Yeah.
I trust in you.
Thanks, mate. Same for you, bro.
And you were studying, I heard?
Yeah, man. I finished my bachelor's degree in Warsaw. It was International Relations Department. It was pretty fine, but in the end of the course, I just decided to quit this profession because I find it extremely difficult. Could be, and yeah, I just get financial freedom and live in some tropical islands.
Yeah, man. That's the goal. That would be nice.
That is awesome.
Alright, dude. Well, I hope all the best, and maybe in a few years we'll see each other on a tropical island. Would be nice.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Alright. Thanks so much.
Thanks, man.
Hello again, guys. Here we are just east of the city center. And we'll start off with this geezer. Most of you will know him. If you don't, shame on you. Of course, it's Napoleon Bonaparte, and he played a great role in the independence of Poland. But we'll go into that in a second, as I give you a history lesson about Warsaw and Poland. And behind our friend is Hotel Gromada. That's where I stayed. I was the only person in the hotel, quite sad. But hey, that's Corona vibes, you know. Alright, follow me through as I give you a history update. Right, hello again. So here we go, a bit of history about Poland. So Poland was, if you can't hear me, it's because of my mask, by the way, yeah? Hats off to the Polish, by the way. Everyone's wearing their mask here, which is really nice. Makes me feel safe. Anyway, so yeah, Poland goes back to 1,000 years before Christ. It was then created by the Slavic people. And the word Poland comes from the word pole, which in Polish means field. So I guess there's a lot of fields in Poland, which I believe they are, so there you go. And the first king of Poland was King Boleslav, and he expanded Poland towards the east. And then in the year 1100, King Casimir came to power, and he modernized Poland. He created the University of Krakow, for instance, and also expanded Poland. Then in about 1500, Poland went into an alliance with Lithuania, and he created the biggest empire. By biggest, I mean biggest landmass back in the day, stretching from the Baltic Sea to the Black Sea. Pretty strong army too, so there you go. And then the capital was moved from Krakow to Warsaw. So Krakow, as most of you know, is in the south of Poland. Warsaw is more in the middle, let's say, middle east of Poland. Because back in the day, the king, can't remember his name, but he was also king of Sweden, and he wanted to get Warsaw closer to Sweden. So that's why he moved the capital north towards Warsaw. Then our friend Napoleon kicked in the door with his Grande Armée, large army of France. And actually, he did a pretty good job for Poland, because Poland became a vassal state. Vassal state meaning that they're under protection of the French Empire, and also they implement their rules. For instance, modernizing the government, implementing new laws. Universities were opened. So that was a good age for the Polish. And also a guy called Poniatowski, which was one of the marshals of Napoleon's army, was then put into place as Minister of War, and he also, being Polish, made sure Poland gained a bit of independence, let's say. Then fast forward, Napoleon lost this war against the Russians. As you know, they managed to capture Moscow, but Moscow was burnt down, so they had to retreat because they didn't have any supplies. And yeah, basically the Grand Armée wasn't grand anymore. It was destroyed. Then Poland came under Russian occupation, and these weren't so good times. That's why the Polish in 1715 and 1830 tried to gain an independence. Unfortunately, this got bogged down, and they remained under Russian dominance. What else can I say? Yeah, fast forward to the First World War. First World War in 1918. As you guys know, Russia had its revolution, and Poland used this period to gain its independence at last. And but this was short-lived, because in 1939 Nazi Germany invaded Poland and committed some atrocities. Actually, for instance, the population of Warsaw back in the day, 1939, was around 1.3 million, and it went down to 500,000. So that's more than half of the population gone. Obviously, as you guys know, a big Jewish community also perished, were sent to the concentration camps. So yeah, that's a black page, really. However, in 1944, so this was still during the Second World War, the Polish independence fighting group, let's say, stood up against the Nazis, thinking that the Russians were just on the other side of the Wisla River, ready to invade. So the Polish thought the Russians were gonna help them, but the Russians didn't, and the Russians basically let the Polish and Germans fight each other, and the Germans won both camps, losing a lot of casualties. So yeah, sad period. Also, 70% of the city of Warsaw got destroyed at that point. This was a reprisal from the Germans, as a sort of a punishment for the Polish. So this goes to show that throughout history, the Polish have really had a hard time, getting their independence. And I think most of us in Western Europe, let's say, really do have this picture of Polish people as hard-working people and proud of their country. And you can see why now, So there you go. And after Second World War, again, Poland did get its independence, but not fully independent, because obviously it became part of the Soviet Union under Stalin. And now it's perfect timing, because I'm approaching this Stalinistic building, which I will give you a history update about. And that's where we'll stop this history lesson. Alright, see you in a minute now. Dzień dobry, guys. So here we are in front of the Joseph Stalin Palace of Science and Culture. What a monstrous building. Built in 1952. It took them 3 years to build this. 3,500 people working on it. 16 people died in the process. It's got 42 stories. It's absolutely huge. Built by Led Ruznev, which is apparently famous. He's dead now, but he's a famous communist architect. And so built for the Polish people as a gift from the Soviet Union for their sacrifices. And it doesn't get more communist than this. Did you know that the clock tower at the top there is the second highest in the world? And it's still in use today, this building, mainly for offices and some exhibits. What else can I say? Yeah. After the fall of the Berlin Wall, the building lost its name of Joseph Stalin. Now it's just called the Palace of Culture and Ministry. Sorry, Palace of Culture and Science, because the people weren't so happy with the communist regime back then. Mainly because they saw their Western counterparts getting richer and richer, and the East was getting, well, not poorer and poorer, but was just staying at the same level. So that's why they got rid of Joseph Stalin, his name on this building. I'll give you a view around. A lot of skyscrapers. So as I said before, the city got absolutely destroyed during the Second World War, and looks to me like the Polish went the Manhattan way, the New York style, you know. A lot of big boulevards, a lot of high skyscrapers, large, as I said, boulevards with trams, and yeah, very, very nice indeed. Very spacious. You don't feel cramped in this city at all. You speak English?
A little bit.
Huh?
Little bit.
Little bit. What's your name?
Artur.
Artur. You're from Warsaw?
Warsaw.
You from Warsaw?
I'm hostel.
Ah, okay. You called? You want coffee?
No coffee.
Here. Okay, I get you a coffee, okay? You stay here, I get you a coffee. Alright, one coffee for Arthur. Merry Christmas to him. Cafe latte is okay?
Oh, merci. Thank you very much.
So how come you're on the streets? You've always been on the street, or you working before, or always street? You sleep here, or you sleep somewhere else?
Normalnie.
Ah, yeah. Catastrophe. You cold, huh?
No, zimno.
Yeah. This is hot. Good for you. Alright, man. Happy Christmas, okay? Ciao, ciao. Hello again, guys. Again, I've come across this beautiful square called the Piłsudski Square. I'm probably butchering his name. But Piłsudski was a soldier. I'll actually zoom in on his statue, which is just behind us there. Yeah, he was a soldier in the German army. Well, he's Polish, and he was soldiering in the German army fighting the Russians in the First World War. But then in 1916, he jumped out of the army, and he wasn't seen for a while until after the war, where obviously, as you know, Russia was busy having its revolution. Germany was defeated, and the Austrian-Hungarian army was falling apart. So Piłsudski, our friend, decided to declare Poland, there is a flag by the way, declared Poland independent. Initially very successful. He managed even to conquer Kiev, Ukraine. But then the Russians had pushed him out, and he had to retreat back to Warsaw, where the Polish army managed to defeat the Russian army, to everyone's surprise. And Piłsudski managed to make Poland independent until the Second World War, where obviously, as you know, the Nazis invaded Poland. And he was offered the presidency, but he declined, being a very humble man. And this building in front of us is the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. There's actually 2 real soldiers in there, I just noticed. Oh, poor buggers, must be freezing, huh? Anyway, and in this spot there used to be a palace called the Saxony Palace. It got destroyed after the Second World War, unfortunately, so they made a park out of it. Absolutely beautiful. And yeah, this tomb is to commemorate the fallen soldiers during the First World War, the Russian-Polish War, and the Second World War. So again, Poland has struggled a lot throughout its history. And I do like this square because it's the middle of town, very serene, very calming. A big contrast to the skyscrapers in the distance. So yeah, I'm liking the vibe. Hope you are too. Alright, I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm absolutely freezing, by the way. It's -1 degrees. I'm not clothed for the climate. hey, I'm doing all this for you boys. And there you go. I'll catch you in a second. Oh, these guys walk fast, huh? So yeah, the replacement of guard here. Hello, my friend. You okay?
Yeah, okay.
What are you offering? What are you doing?
I can give you one ulovka
Yeah.
if you want to buy dumplings, sausages, soups and all traditional Polish food.
Okay, man. I can.
Welcome to the Christmas event with Christmas food.
Can I take one?
Yes, of
Thanks.
course.
I want to try dumplings because I'm a tourist, and there we go.
Where are you from?
Belgium.
Belgium.
Yes. You like Belgium?
You speak French or German, probably.
Both. If you want. Vous parlez français?
Only Italiano.
Ah, italiano, bello. Alright, can I sit inside or it's takeaway?
Only take away. But
Ah.
if you want to buy something, you must go inside.
Oh, okay, I will go. Thank you so much. I'll see you later, man.
Have a nice day.
You too, bye bye. Hello again. We've finally reached the old town. In the distance there, you see the National Stadium. And funky looking tram. The oldest church of Warsaw, just in front of us there. And I grabbed myself some dumplings, which is the national dish. We've got loads of different dumplings. They're quite filling, but you got salmon, cheese, beef, vegetarian, spinach, all sorts. And then ginger tea with some fruit and berries, very healthy. Need to get those vitamins down, yeah. And then look at this view. This is the old town. And just there is the old city wall. Just there. And Christmas tree, of course. And there, I'll be walking through that gate there, and that's the entrance to the old town. Being attacked by pigeons. They're coming for me. What do you want? Piss off. I think I've got food or something. It's like zombie attack. Oh my god. Here we are on the south side of, the east side of the old town. And the fortification walls, as you can see, it's a doubled wall. And there's the Barbican. I say again, Barbican. That's the only remaining fort of Warsaw. And it's protecting the eastern gate to the old town. What a view, absolutely gorgeous. I love the colors. And then on the other side, it's quite hard to see, but in the distance there is the Wisla River. The Wisla River runs from Gdansk down through Warsaw, obviously, and then into Krakow and goes into the mountains there. Hey guys, I just stumbled on this building. This is the birthplace of Marie Curie. For some of you might know her. She was a Polish-born but French naturalized physicist who pioneered in radioactivity. And there you go. Right, hello. We're at the south entrance of the old town. This chap is Jan Kiliński, who of origin was a shoemaker, and in 1794 was a leader of the Warsaw uprising against the Russian army. However, they lost, and he was sent to prison in St. Petersburg, the poor bugger. But he was sent back to Warsaw, and where he died. No, actually, sorry, he died in... yeah, I'm confusing with someone else. Yeah, he died in Warsaw. Sorry, I was confusing him with someone else. This is the outer wall, the defensive wall. And this is the entrance, of course. Absolutely beautiful. Another part of the outer wall there. A bit of history about the old town. Obviously, it's the oldest part of Warsaw. Duh. And built in the 1300s. Well, it started off in the 1300s. Originally surrounded by a a wooden rampart, so not very strong. But then in the 1300s, they built a brick wall around it. And the center of the old town is the market square. Excuse me for the car, which I'll be walking to now. And during the Second World War in 1939, the Luftwaffe obliterated this place, part of their terror bombing. The Polish then rebuilt it during this war, but then in 1944, during the Warsaw Uprising, it got destroyed again by the Nazis. So here we're coming up to the main square, I believe. Here, actually, quite interesting, is a picture of what the old town looked like during the Second World War. So not that good, eh? And some of, actually, I'll show you this, some of the construction work involved. Yeah. So here we go. This is the main square, the old town square. What a sight, it's beautiful. What do you think, huh? Too bad, eh? This little statue here in the middle is to commemorate the resilience of Warsaw and its uprisings and its restoration. All the Christmas lighting must be very pretty at night time. It's a shame I can't show you that, but hey. Alright guys, this is where I'm going to end the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this view of Warsaw. And to make my way back to the airport now, catch a flight to Brussels. Let me know what you liked about it. Let me know also what I can improve, because obviously I want to prove myself steadily. Get better over the weeks and years. Dziękuję. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Before I leave Poland, I thought I'd give you a quick view of Warsaw Modlin Airport, which is basically a hangar in the middle of nowhere. And it's a low-cost airport of Warsaw. Alright, I'll see you later.